I'm legally insane, and on the night of June 16th, 2007, I killed 2 people. Whatever you do, don't go looking in the Hudson River. And I mean that. There's 2 bodies down there. Edit that part out. I'm legally insane. And right here, we've got 20 PS3 bangers. And some trash. Oh yeah, there's some trash in here. Oh yeah. And there's going to be a bonus at the end too. I got a real treat at the end. Damn! These all happen to be recent pickups. Some of them were actually gifted to me for my birthday as a belated birthday present, so I didn't purchase all of them. But we're going to start off strong. And this is a game that you've pretty much guaranteed to have heard of, but there's something about this game that you didn't know, and I'll tell you what that is. This is Dirt 3 Complete Edition. This is also on the Xbox 360. This price is going up, and I'll tell you why. I paid $12 for this, though. $12, not a bad deal. CIB, Dirt 3 Complete Edition, has all the DLC on it. This price charts for $25.27, all Canadian dollars. All my prices are in Canadian dollars. Now, Dirt 3 is a very famous racing game. I'm not a huge racing fanatic, but I do respect and I dabble in the racing genre. I wish I could love it as much as those that are hardcore love it. I don't know, I got this weird like mental illness where I just wish that I loved racing games as much as the racing fanatics, but I don't. But I pick them up anyway, and I try to play them and I try to enjoy them as best I can, even though I'm not really a racing guy. It's very strange, but Dirt 3, very famous game. This game was removed from the Steam PC store. You can no longer get the complete edition. I don't even think you can get the regular edition on Steam anymore. But for sure the complete edition, it's gone. It was removed. So I also suspect it would have been removed from any online PlayStation store, etc. I don't even have access to the PlayStation store anymore. And I don't check. I don't do online PlayStation. So it was probably removed from there too, if it was ever even on there. The only way you can play this game is physical. So there was obviously some rights issues with some of the cars that they added to this complete edition. And those rights are gone. You want this game? You need to get it physical. It's never coming back. Ever. It's not going to get re-released. There's rights issues. It's done. Physical only. Physical is the best way and only way you should be going anyway. So I'm telling you, the price will continue to creep up over time. It's already holding a strong value. And by the way, so I picked this up for $12, but you might find it for a lot cheaper because racing games in general often get priced for cheap by pawn shops or thrift stores, because they price them in with the other garbage racing games that are worthless, and they sometimes get treated like sports games. So you can find more rare and expensive racing games. There's a lot of expensive racing games out there, and a lot of times they get mispriced. You know, a pawn shop takes them in, they don't even bother checking the price. You think they check the price on sports games? They know they're all worthless. Those employees don't care. Those Goodwill employees don't care. They just, sports game, $2, $3. Racing game, $3. That's all they do. And this game's hard to find, so I got a steal of a deal on this one. I consider that a steal of a deal. $12 CIB. I'll pay that any day of the week. Great game. Dirt 3 is a classic. You know, a lot of people still talk about this game to this very day. Next up, now this is a real interesting game. So when I first bought this, this is Ultimate Sith Edition, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, number 1, Ultimate Sith Edition. So when I bought this, I panic bought it because one, I only paid $1 Canadian for this. And I panic bought it because it was the Ultimate Sith Edition. And I said, holy hell, like, I'll bid on that. I was bidding on it. No one outbid me. But I didn't notice that it was the PAL version. I didn't even know that. I thought it was worthless too. I didn't know that this was worth anything. Because guess what? This price charts at $22.21, and the non-essentials version goes for as high as $35, $34.30 price charting. Sometimes you get them for cheaper, sometimes they go even higher. Really depends on the condition. If you're looking at sold listings, you got to look at the condition. So this game's not cheap. It's going up. But no one was bidding on it because it's the PAL version. But thanks to you viewers in the comments from a previous PlayStation 3 game that I bought that was PAL version only. This is a PAL exclusive. You cannot get this in North America. So no one bid on it. But it turns out you can play PAL games and Japanese games on any PlayStation 3 console. They're not region locked. And a lot of people still to this day don't know that because I only learned it from you guys in the comment section. I had a really a limited edition Sega Transformers racing game. And it was PAL region exclusive. Sometimes the PAL region gets exclusives that are actually really good. And this is one of them. So I paid $1 for this because no one else bid on it. CIB. Obviously Star Wars Unleashed number 2 is more popular. And I've never played this game before in my entire life. But I remember I did have a friend back in the day who was a huge fan of this game, and I watched him play. He beat the game multiple times. He played number 1 and 2. It was like his favorite game for a very long time. And this is the Ultimate Sith Edition. You're not going to get a better edition. Like, this is the Ultimate Edition. There's nothing more ultimate than the Ultimate Edition. What's it got? It's probably got DLC on it. Original Star Wars Force Unleashed game plus 3 reimagined classic trilogy levels. Wow. Tatooine, Jedi Temple, and all new Hoth level. Dang, that's crazy. And look at this. Discover the untold story of Darth Vader's secret apprentice between episodes 3 and 4. An all-new level, battle Luke and the rebels on Hoth as the ultimate evil apprentice? You need to get this game. This is a must-buy game. Pick this one up. You don't even need to be a Star Wars fan. Just buy it anyway. That's my advice.
I sense that you have not succeeded in tracking down your objective. My apprentice. I may still have some use for you. I still have enemies to destroy. You will do my bidding.
Alright, we got nothing but 3 bangers in a row. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Limited edition. Now, I don't know too much about the difference between the limited edition and the non-limited edition, but I'm fairly certain the limited edition came with a DLC code to get Bret the Hitman Hart. For some stupid reason, you had to download Bret Hart. And I've heard that there's a UK exclusive version of this game. So anybody from the UK out there, please let us know in the comments if that is true. CIB. Limited edition. So here's what I do know about this game. And by the way, what did I pay for this? I paid $12, and it price charts for $26.58. I like getting steal over deals. I don't pay full price. You want to pay full price? We go right ahead. I don't care. But I don't pay full price. I get deals or I don't buy. Except on rare occasion. But it better be a dang freaking good game, and it better be rare as hell if I'm going to be paying full price. So, yeah, this is a great example. Wrestling games. Wrestling games and racing games often get mispriced. You'll be able to find them at pawn shops, thrift stores, things like that. A lot of wrestling games are not worth anything, but some of them are worth something. No Mercy for the N64. That's worth something. Warzone, WWF Warzone for the N64. That's not really worth anything. WCW Revenge, although it's a great game, last I checked, at least, it's been a while since I looked, but last I checked, it wasn't worth anything. It's a very common game. And it's not as sought after as WWF Warzone. No Mercy. So here's what I have heard about this game. Anyone that I've ever heard mention this, I've never played it, but this often gets mentioned as one of the best wrestling games. I don't ever hear it called the best per se. I usually either hear WWF No Mercy for the N64. Oh, and what's the other one? WWF or WWE SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. That's the other one, PS2. Here Comes the Pain, PS2. Those are the top two dogs when it comes to wrestling games. And occasionally I'll hear a GameCube game. Let me pull it up. Okay, once in a blue moon, the third one that I always hear is... Actually, it's perhaps a tie between Day of Reckoning number 2. So this is number 1, because I don't have number 2 CIB, but I do have number 2. Day of Reckoning GameCube exclusive. I'll hear this one as one of the best wrestling games within the top 3. And I'll also hear this is the third best game. So let's just say there's a tie between Day of Reckoning number 2 and SmackDown versus Raw 2011. But to me, if you ask me personally, I'm going to say WWF No Mercy. N64. And then actually, my second favorite is going to go Day of Reckoning 2. But probably just because I'm a sucker for the GameCube.
You've waited your entire life for it. Now, you can live it. The most authentic WWE experience ever.
John Cena has won the Royal Rumble. Women born, airborne.
Define your universe.
Good God Almighty.
All right, next up, we got... Black Ops 2. If you've never heard of this game, you've been living under a rock. For starters, everyone knows this game. It's the most famous Call of Duty game. And in my opinion, it's the only good Call of Duty game, because I hate Call of Duty games. And I know some of you out there love Call of Duty. They sell hundreds of millions of freaking copies when you combine all the bloody Call of Duties that they keep making. But I hate Call of Duty. Except for this. Because of the zombies mode. As a matter of fact, I don't know why they don't just make an entire game called Call of Duty Zombies and get rid of anything Call of Duty, get rid of all the humans fighting humans and anything that doesn't include zombies. Just get rid of everything and just have nothing but zombie killing. Single player, multiplayer, just do everything, and that's going to sell hundreds of millions of copies. In fact, get rid of the regular Call of Duty franchise and just replace everything with zombies. You want to make $5 billion? That's how you do it. Yeah, so I paid $5 for this. This is actually my second copy. This is another game that you can find for cheap because Call of Duty games are all garbage and they sell for very cheap. Except for this one. And there's a couple other rare ones out there, believe it or not. There's a Call of Duty triple pack for the 360. I forget what it's called like the War Pack or something. It's like a 3-in-1. That one's a little bit pricey, it's a little bit rare. But this is not rare, but it still sells for a pretty penny. So I paid $5. It price charts for $15.28. And because this is my second copy, might even be my third copy, I am going to sell it. I'll keep whatever copy is in the best condition. By the way, this one's mint. The case, mint. No problems. Okay? No problems. Mint. And I will make money on this. I'll throw it up on eBay. It'll cost, to ship this, it costs like $3.31 or something. I'll sell that. I got no problem. And by the way, you'll find recent sold listings. Sometimes sold listings go over $20. So you gotta one, pay attention to the condition of what's selling. So yeah, sometimes they sell cheap. Sometimes you'll find copies that sell for as low as $12, $13. Maybe even $10 if you're lucky. But one, they sell fast. Two, sometimes they're in garbage condition. So the ones that are selling for $20 or more, they're either one, the cheapest on the market at that time, because all the other ones sold out, or two, they also happen to be the better condition copies. This is a good condition copy. I'm not going to sell this for $10. I'm not going to sell it for $13. I'm going to be trying to get minimum $15, but I'm definitely going to aim for $20. Okay? So I'm going to be making some money on this one. And what does making money do? Think about it. If you make money, you can buy more video games with the money. So maybe you should consider keeping an eye out for games like this. And you sell it for profit and go buy more retro games. NBA Street Home Court. This is my third copy because I keep finding this one for cheap too. This looks like a sports title. A lot of times people either don't bid on it. You can find it at pawn shops. Probably the first one I ever got was $3 at Stock Exchanger's pawn shop. Because they're a bunch of morons there. Except for in recent times, now they go on eBay, friggin' eBay. But back before they hired whatever smart employee told them to start using eBay prices, they used to charge $3 for every game they had. NBA Street Home Court. This is part of the NBA Street series. NBA Street games aren't cheap anymore. They're all going up. Every single one of them. But especially the GameCube ones. GameCube ones are where the real money's at. But this game, this is a hidden gem, by the way. This is like NBA Jam on steroids. Okay? It's a more realistic NBA Jam. It's a PS3 NBA Jam on steroids. I don't know how else to describe it. Okay, so I paid, holy hell, I'm a rich man. I paid $3 for this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
$3 frickin' dollars. 3 smackers. CIB. Look, you see any problems with this case? Mint. No stickers, no nothing. $3. Price charts for $24.32. Some recent sold listings going back as far back as June, I think it was, are selling for as high as $30 Canadian. So that's another one to keep an eye out. Great game. Underrated gem. I think it'll continue to go up in price as well. You know what? I think this was the last NBA street game ever made. I don't think they've continued the series. Somebody out there correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain they stopped making the Street series. So that's probably certainly contributing to the price being as high as it is.
Oh! Put that in, baby. Ain't got none of this. Get out of here! Put the hand down. Oh, yeah, you gotta get that out of the house, boy. Get that rebound.
What else we got? TNA Impact. I paid $3 again. Oh yeah, because I think I got this at Stock Exchangers. I think I own 2 copies of this game, but the other one might be Xbox 360. I don't remember. CIB. I know one of the 2 I got at Stock Exchangers. I know that for certain. Might even own 3. Now, okay, TNA is an interesting game. Oh, so I paid $3. It price charts for $18.50. Some sold listings, going back to June, sold for as high as $22. So again, it depends on condition, shipping costs, etc. Sometimes as a seller, sometimes you just get lucky. You know, maybe there's a $15 copy for sale, $16 copy for sale, and then it jumps up to $20. Well, maybe somebody buys the 15 and the 16. Next guy comes in, there's only one left at 20. He buys it. But then tomorrow, the next day, some new sellers come on the market and you can get for as cheap as, $12. That sort of thing happens with these types of games. These lower end, lower price range games. So, okay, the thing about TNA Wrestling is this game is not known to be particularly good. But the reason I keep buying them when I see them is because of the TNA name alone. That's it. TNA doesn't exist anymore. But it's looked back on very fondly. TNA was a gem of its time, and everyone wishes that it still existed today. It doesn't, but everyone wishes that it did. And there's things that they should have done differently, should have done differently. So, probably if they were to come back, and if they could rewind time, they would have done things differently, and perhaps they would have survived and thrived. AEW is doing just fine. They're doing great. They just released a new video game, their very first video game. And from what I'm hearing, it's pretty dang freaking good. Switch version I'm hearing is, not the greatest, frame rate issues and whatnot, but that always happens with the Switch version when it comes to those higher end graphics games and whatnot. So AEW is doing great. TNA should have been an AEW. And they should have been bigger. They should have and could have given WWE a run for their money. So this was the only TNA game ever made, and I just think it will always be a sought-after game to wrestling fans. So I could absolutely see the price continue to go up. It's never going to be a $500 game. It's not going to be a super rare game. But could it sell for $40 to $50 in the future? Absolutely. That would be fairly easy for it to hit that level. Especially considering PS3 games are still very, very cheap right now to this day. I've mentioned this a million times, but go look at every previous console before the PS3 and the 360. The prices are going up. It's just the way it is. For rare games, uncommon games, and highly sought after games that aren't as common as Call of Duty, which probably no one wants 10 years after its release anyway. Okay, so now we have a stack of 14 games plus a bonus that my brother gave me for my belated birthday present. Plus, he gave me a PS3 console and 2 controllers. I'll show you those at the end. So what I've decided to do, I'll fly through these. I'll tell you what I'm doing here. So he's given me Aliens, Colonial Marines. Is that Colonel or Colonial Marines? This is CIB. Not too bad condition. I've decided I'm going to sell all the games my brother gave me. Oh yeah, so here's the thing. So I asked my brother to send me the PS3 and all of his games. And I was perfectly fine with that. He doesn't know that I'm going to sell them. He has no idea. But I was hoping that he would have rare games in here. So I purposely said, oh yeah, send them all over. I'll love to take him as a gift. He thinks I'm going to keep them and play them. I'm not keeping any of these. I'm selling them all. I was hoping he would have rare ones in there, and I didn't tell him that. I didn't tell him that I was planning to sell all of these games right from the beginning. Before I even knew what he had, I was already planning to sell it. Or keep it if it was rare and then sell it in the future. I just, and the thing is, but I didn't want to tell him, or I didn't want to ask him if he had any rare games, because then he would look up the price. What if he had some $100 plus games in here? What if he had all these gems like Folklore? He could have had it. He could have had games like anything from Shadows of the Damned, Folklore, PlayStation Network Collection, Volume 1, ultra rare game, $100 plus game. Who knows what he could have had? And so I didn't want him to look up the prices. I could be getting, for all I knew, I was getting $500 worth of games for my birthday. Like, holy hell, I'm friggin' rich now. Like, we don't go lavish. We don't spend lavishly when it comes to birthdays. So I didn't want him to know. So what I got was a surprise. I didn't know what I was getting. So I got the console, 2 controllers. One's pink. I'm hoping that one's rare. All the hookups, all that jazz. So here's what I'm doing. This Aliens game, it price charts for, I wrote this down. Price charts for $13.30. So I decided I'm going to sell this one on eBay. Okay? Going into the sell pile. I already have that game for the 360. I don't care to have... For this particular game, I don't want 1 copy for each console. Some games, I do want 1 copy for each console. But when it comes to this one, I don't. Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition. I already own this, and I have the slip cover. This is an easy sale. Easy sell, it'll sell fast. This one price charts for $12.46. Frequently sells for over $15. So this is going in the sell pile. Dead Space 2, also going in the sell pile. I'm pretty sure this is a second copy. This is my first greatest hits copy, but this is going in the sell pile regardless. I don't necessarily care for keeping both a 360 and a PS3 copy regardless. If I'm going to keep one, it's going to be the 360. So I'm selling the PS3 version. Price charts for $17.26 Essentials version. Commonly sells, though you can find recent sold listings going for over $20. So I should be able to get a pretty penny for this. These are all CIB. Okay? All CIB. Also, it's kind of interesting to see what types of games my brother plays. And you can probably tell already that he doesn't get the hidden gems and the lesser known titles. He's clearly going for AAA titles, which is a disappointment to me, but me and him are opposites in that regard. We're opposites in many ways. I like to go for the hidden gems and the indie games and the unknown games and the unique things out there. I stay far away from AAA titles for the most part. But he clearly likes the AAA titles. He's even got BioShock. And these aren't bad games. Like, these are good games. AAA titles are great games. But they're just not for someone like me, I don't particularly go out of my way to collect games like this. I'm looking for games that are going to hold their value, go up in value, or that are very unique. BioShock's a friggin' gem. Like, this was a monster hit back in the day. Absolute monster. It's worthless today, though, by the way. Absolutely worthless. Call of Duty Ghosts. Now this, a lot of people actually hated this game. I remember when this came out, one of my roommates bought it. And even, he's like a hardcore Call of Duty fan, and he didn't even, like, he still played it and beat it, obviously. It's not that bad, but it was bashed. Got bashed a lot. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, so I couldn't tell you why. NHL 14. Great condition cases, by the way, though. So I will case swap. I'm going to steal any cases that are in really good condition. I will case swap those with games that are in poor condition that I'm looking for better cases for my own collection. NHL 14. Sports game, no one cares. Except for the case. I might be able to use that case. Grand Theft Auto 5. This is an easy sell on eBay, but you can't get very much money for it. That is arguably the best Grand Theft Auto game ever made. Very much arguably, because a lot of people like San Andreas. A lot of people like Vice City. People like me, retro old school guys like me, guess what? I like Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 for the PlayStation when it was that top-down view. Lego Batman, Lego Batman number 2, DC Superheroes. These are great two-player co-op games, by the way. But I've already got Lego Batman for the Wii U, and that's the only one that I care for. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. This one's got the map, so I wonder if that's worth anything. I'll look that up. Might be rare because it has the map. Dishonored. I had a roommate that beat this game, so I actually saw most of it. Although I wasn't playing, I watched my roommate play. Practically start to finish for the entire game. It's a good game. That's a classic. Batman Arkham City. Not worth anything, but it is 3D compatible. Now, I already own this game, so this is going into the sell pile. But I do collect and keep every game that is 3D compatible for both the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Because I think that those are all rare treats. This particular one might not be worth too much in the future, per se, but there are other ones like Silent Hill Downpour, which are 3D compatible. That's 3D glasses with a 3D TV. And by the way, the 3D glasses that you can get on Amazon, I've heard that they're garbage. So you're going to want high quality 3D glasses to get the best effect. And Sony did make high quality glasses, like Sony PlayStation 3 branded 3D glasses. You can find them on eBay. They're not cheap anymore, though. They used to be cheap. They're very expensive and very rare now. But if you are looking to play a 3D game, that's what you're going to have to do to get the best experience. Don't get that Amazon third-party crap. Infamous. This is a game that I really don't know anything about. Other than it's a AAA title. Obviously it's good. 9 out of 10 scores everywhere. It's a game that everyone and their mother has heard of. But it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm not into that game. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves Game of the Year Edition. Oh, dang. Includes voucher for bonus content and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception DLC. Wow. That's cool. That's really cool. Even though this is the Banger of the Year edition, I ain't keeping it. It's going into the sell pile. Killzone 3 is a great game. I was tempted to keep this one, but I'm not keeping it. I'll get to that one in a minute. So there's 14 games here. 14. So I looked up the prices on all of them. They're not necessarily worth selling on eBay. So I'm going to attempt, 14 games here. I'm going to attempt to get $30 locally for all of the games. So I think that's under $3 per game. Yeah, that's under $3 per game because there's 14 of them. I'm going to try to get 30. If somebody offers 20, and I'm talking locally, I'm not going to eBay. I throw them up on eBay as a secondary option. The price is obviously going to have to go way up. But I think I could sell these locally. I've sold giant lots of crappy games for the PS2 at least 2 or 3 times locally before. I remember I sold a giant lot of, 10 or 20 games for 50 or 60 bucks. Some guy came and picked them up. So, you got to be patient. But somebody out there will come and pick them up because they're not going to get a better deal. You're not going to, if you want to buy these games on eBay, you're going to end up paying double, triple, or more, plus tax. So I'm going to try for 30. If somebody offers me 25 and they come pick them up, I'll probably do it. I'll take it. But I'm going to really try to push for 30. And I'm going to explain in the listing. I'll find out exactly how much that costs per game. Say it's $2.75. I will say $30, that comes to $2.75 per game, CIB every game. You're not going to get a better deal. And I will exaggerate that in the listing. That's what you got to educate your buyer. Because there's a bunch of morons out there. The world is full of absolute retards. So you got to educate them. You got to let them know, hey, buddy, do you realize this is like $2.75 a game? Go on eBay and try to buy one of them. You're going to pay like $6 to $10 for a lot of these, okay? You're going to end up paying, you want to buy 10 games at $6 a piece. There's 60 right there. I've got 14 games here for way less than that. Great condition. They're not bad. All right, so here's the actual console and the controller. So if anybody out there knows if this is rare or not, I thought it was a very unique color. Looks pretty awesome. I can clean it up, so don't worry about condition or the dust on it. This is just a standard controller, but he did give me the hookups and the charger cord. This thing obviously looks third party. It's definitely not an original, but regardless, it can be hooked up. It's got an HDMI cord and everything. Okay, now for the last game. My brother gave me this. This is the dirtiest, nastiest game I've ever come across. This whole case is filled with dirt. I don't even know how that happens. The camera probably won't pick up the disgusting filth on this game. My brother sent me this, NHL 08 for the PS2. It's not even a PS3 game. Why does he even have this? And why does my brother own the world's most disgusting game? What, did he find this in a dumpster? And then I opened it, and there's nothing in it. So I thought, okay, I got a couple options here. Look at that filth. That's probably dog crap. Somebody told their dog to take a dump on this thing. So I thought, okay, I can do one of two things here. Or 3 things. I can throw it in the garbage where it belongs. I can destroy it for kicks. Or I can clean it up a little and sign it. This is what we're going to do, by the way. I'm going to do this live right now. Sign it with the name Elvis. And I'm going to throw this on eBay for $15. Maybe $12.50. $12.50. because there's not even a game inside. And I'm going to say it was signed by Elvis. And I'm not lying, it was signed by Elvis. Because I signed it, and I wrote Elvis. And it just so happens that my middle name happens to be Elvis. Not legally, of course. So it was signed by Elvis. I'm not lying, I'm just leaving out detail. But I'm hoping, my plan is, I'm hoping that somebody is going to be searching for Elvis Presley memorabilia, stuff signed by Elvis Presley. And they're going to find this listing and they're going to buy it. They're going to take a chance on it. They're going to say, what the hell is this? And somebody's going to buy it either as a joke or some dumb old lady who doesn't know what she's doing. She's got dementia and a credit card, and she's going to buy this game. Let's see what happens. Hey, you never know. You never know. Okay, so I've got the game. I got a marker. I'm not playing around. I'm not kidding around. I'm actually going to do this. I'm cleaning the game. Got the wet wipe. Clean her up a little bit because she's dirty as hell. Look at all that dirt. Okay, hopefully she dries out fast. Where should I sign? I guess I'll sign, I'm thinking in the corner? Or right across the middle? Just giant letters, I guess. L. This. It's actually hard to see, unfortunately. Elvis. Let's see what happens. I think it's a funny and fun experiment to try. And if it works, I'll start signing all my games. I'm going to try and get $12.50. I think that's a fair price. It's cheap enough that I won't feel bad if an old lady buys it. If some dumb old lady with dementia and a big fat credit card with a high limit on the credit card buys this, I'm not gonna feel bad about that. I'm gonna think it's funny, and I'm gonna say enjoy your signed case. Hey man, Elvis signed it. Says right there, Elvis. But on the other hand, if I charged $150 or $125, something very expensive, I would feel terrible. I feel bad about that. Some dumb old lady with dementia. Why do that? The poor old woman. Come on, man. Don't be doing that. But $12.50, free shipping. Hey, that ain't bad. I'm not going to feel bad about that. Free money for me, and the old lady gets to sleep at night thinking that Elvis signed this. Guy wasn't even alive when this was made. That's how you know she has dementia. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I like to do a lot of retro game content here on this channel and the Nintendo Switch. I love the Nintendo Switch. Friggin' love it. So if you're into retro games, NES, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, PS3, you come to the right place. I even do handhelds. You like handheld games? I just started dabbling into that world. That's a whole friggin' world that I missed. I missed the boat on that one. So I've really started getting into the handhelds, but not too much. And I like to do Nintendo Switch.